What's up, everybody? This is Information Man and the Information Man Show. If you didn't know this, this is a very important video that I'm doing tonight because in Washington, D.C., they have some type of law that they've passed
Now that's right.
to make it legal. Let me stop something right here. To make it legal to vaccinize kids between the age 11 and older without the consent of the parent. So we're going to talk about this tonight. I'm going to bring you show you some of the data. I want you all to share this video in your social media, your community tabs. This is a very important video because this is the stuff that I've been talking about, and it is a reality. If they can do it in DC, they can do it anywhere, possibly. And with that, let's get ahead and let's get ready and let's get at this.
Information is power.
Such a pretty girl, left town, got a chance in LA. Now you a city girl, now you wanna party, it's late. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You said that I was, you had me love struck. That city life will make you go. No place like home. No place like home. No place like home. Home. Tell the truth. No place like home. Had a lover boy. Now you're on the other side of the tracks with another boy, chasing that green grass. You say over, never over. One more drinking until you're sober. You say over, never over. One more drinking until you're sober. You said that I was, you had me love struck. That city life will make you go. No place like home. No place like home. No place like home. Home. No place like home. Make the night go slower. Slowly over, closer.
Information is power. The truth.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. Just like I've been saying, this is what they've been doing. This is what I've been talking about. I want to say peace to everybody in the chat room that's here. Let's do a test. Let's make sure that you guys can, all of you can hear me. The family is back in the house. This is the family of truth, and we're going to get at it. So let me go ahead and give some respect where respect is due. We got my man, brother Topping Jr. in the house. I'll be checking you out over in my man, what's my man? Pharaoh Says That. That brother be breaking the knowledge down. I go over there and I learn a lot from the brother. that I add to my repertoire to bring to the people here. So that brother be dropping the knowledge over there. That's where I see Andrew Toppin Jr. We got the old head Deuce in the house. Peace to you. We've got Natural is in the house. We got Try It, Buy It, and Make It and Sell It in the house. Thank you. We got Natural Way Alcohol in the house. Thank you. We got some chick named Star in the house. Peace to you, sister, for being here. We got my main man, Mr. Male Advice DIY. Check out his channel. Check out all of each other's channels. We got SF Rose. And SF Rose and my man, TR, gave me an incredible super chat. And I want to thank everybody that might have given me a super chat before I went on live. So because they gave me a super chat, I've got to do the right thing before I get into my presentation to everybody out there listening. And I got to do, you know, my normal thing that I do on my program, and that's give them the super chat music. And let's get it going. Yeah. Woo.
Tell them run it off. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now. No drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court.
All right.
The first one in, the last one out, can't call me
Super chat. I love that. All right. Thank you very much for the super chat to SF Rose and TR. You all doing great things on your channel. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming over tonight. Let me get into it. Now we have We Are Awake News that's in the house. Peace to you. Let me see who else is in the house here. Tasha, I'm glad to see everybody that's here. Thank you for coming over tonight. No matter how little, I know people are with their family, but I'm going to get this out right now because it's very important. I know people will watch this after the fact, no matter how many people come in the chat room tonight or watch this right now live because it is Christmas Eve. But let me get into this right now. What I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I need to do this very to the point here. And let me put this back up here. I hope you all are well once again. And there it is. And what I need to do is I need to read you something so that you understand that what I'm saying is not crazy. It's not out of control. It isn't something that I made up. I believe in coming with the facts here. And this is very important. So let me put this up here. This is what happened in Washington, D.C. I don't know how many of you might have missed this. This was all happening. This was all being put into place in 2019, around November. They had 2 readings of this bill. And let me put something else on the screen that you need to be aware of the name of this bill. And I hope that I have the right information. There it is. So everybody, make sure you write this down and do your research. The bill that they actually proposed in Washington, D.C. as it related to the idea, the reality, the construct of giving kids age 11 and older the right to consent to taking the vaccine or any vaccine that's recommended by the FDA, Food and Drug Administration. Kids can actually make that decision without you as the parent. I'm a parent. I don't know how many of you all out there are parents. If you are a parent, put a 1 in the chat room if you are a parent, because this is very important. What happens in one state can always creep into your state. So the bill was B230171, which you see on my screen right now. B230171 was the bill in Washington, D.C. Now, what happened is Mayor Bowser, a lot of people were telling her, not to go ahead with this, okay? This is the update. Controversy DC bill that will allow minors as young as 11 to get vaccinated without parents' consent will become law after Mayor Bowser opted not to veto it. Bowser returned the bill to the council late last week, unsigned, often an indicator that the mayor is uncomfortable with the elements of the bill, but not to the point that they would be weird, they would veto it, right? Or take a pen to it and veto it. That they will, let me see, the council passed the measure last month on 10-3 vote. So they had a 10-3 vote the first time, ladies and gentlemen, that they put this up for vote. And then they did it again to finalize it. I'm going to show you, because I believe in bringing the receipts. This is the information, man.
Tell the truth.
This is about truth. I'm going to show you the actual vote that they took, the council members in Washington, D.C., and the people who voted on this and were both black and white. Now, we know that Washington, D.C., as it used to be called, or it is Chocolate City, even though some of its chocolate has fallen out of it, is a primarily has a black population. I think black people are around 45% of the population. Whites make up about 37%. Other ethnic groups are a little bit lower than us. This is another way that they sort of can target, once again, black people in these situations, and in this case, target our kids. They're already playing around with laws that give kids the consent to be able to make a decision whether they want to get an abortion or not. You got that floating around. They had that floating around in California, where I live at. Hell, I think they might have made it law. Let me read something to you real quick as I put this young lady picture on the screen. This is very important, and I'm going to take that off. And this was one of the things that they did in Washington, D.C. I don't know how many people in the chat room are from Washington, D.C. We got my man Kitty in the house. What's going on, brother? Oh, man. Everybody check that brother's channel. I'm going to highlight him. I'm going to highlight his name because I need you all to go over and immediately, when you get an opportunity, I need you to subscribe to this brother's channel. Let me read what he says. He says, who are not legally, that's right, they're not legally, such as infants, children, and adults with mental or physical disabilities are to be minimized in such projects. Utilized in such projects, if I'm saying that correct. Now, Brother Kitty says, Brother Kitty says, if a parent has any sense of why they would give dissent, there are numerous laws that parents that preempt this research on children. All right. Brother Kitty is telling the truth. He's telling the truth, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
The Declaration of years after development, let me see, of the Nuremberg Code set guidelines for proxy consent by which human research and subjects. Man, he's giving the science, folks. I need y'all to check Brother Kitty out. He's the brother at the bottom of the screen right now. Let me highlight him. Check out his channel. This is a brother who's brilliant. He has books that he has written. This man knows the science. He can break it down, the science, the molecules, the cells. He could break down this craziness that we're going through with this virus that we're dealing with. This brother's an author, and let me say peace to you, brother. All right, I highlighted that, brother. When you all have a chance, write his name down. Check out his channel. He doesn't play around on his channel. He gets to logical conclusions and solutions, and he analyzes. This man is well-read, well-studied, and researched, and he's an author. So check that brother out. He is on point. We got Fly C's in the house, and we got so let me get back to this. So we got the action alert. Contact Washington, D.C. Mayor Bowser ASAP. Tell Washington, D.C. mayor that any medical procedures performed on children must have parental permission. If the D.C. mayor doesn't veto this, okay, this human rights will come to your state. So people were up in arms about this situation in Washington, D.C. I don't know how many of you in the chat room have heard about this. Let me read something to you. This was in the Defender. It goes like this. D.C. law will give vaccine decisions to kids 11 or older without parents' knowledge or consent, which is the title of my show today, my program. Your action is needed to stop. Okay, stop this. The District of Columbia that would not only permit children 11 years old and older to consent to vaccines on their own without parental knowledge or consent, but also requires insurance companies, vaccines providers, and schools to conceal the fact that the children has been vaccinated, that children have been vaccinated without the parents' consent. This is very important, folks. Very much important for you to understand what I'm reading here. Check this out. The bill that I was telling you, which is B 230171, that was the bill, was passed on 12-1 on October the 20th. October the 20th was the first reading of this bill that they were trying to pass. And I'm going to show you a short clip of how they went about voting on this. It was crazy. And it was announced that it would have a second reading and final vote by D.C. Council at the legislative meeting scheduled on November 10th, right? Not too long ago, folks, at 10 a.m. This was just a month ago when all this stuff was going down, ladies and gentlemen. At 10 a.m., the council meeting where White Sr. was the only council member to vote against the bill because it violated parental rights, just like my brother Keedy is saying in the chat room. The discussion of the bill started at 5:36 in the Acolyte's video. And I'm going to put this article in the chat room for people to look at this article because it also has the video that I'm going to be showing you. Okay. However, at November 10th, 2020 meeting, the bill was postponed for the final reading and vote until Tuesday, November 17th. You can watch the discussion on the archive video. I'm going to show you that video in just a moment. Let me read further here. Council members Vince Gray, chair of the Health Committee, had proposed an amendment to requiring a vaccine provided to notify the insurer that the immunization has been provided under the authority of the Minor Consent for Vaccination Amendments Act of 2020. So they're using law here. This is how they play the game. Things that have been, see, this is why when people say, well, we shouldn't vote, sometimes when you don't vote, they can put laws into enactment that you don't even know anything about, and then it can come down on your child, it can come down on you, okay? So the insurer will know that they should not send an expectation of benefits for vaccination. This amendment underscores the intention of deception to keep parents in the dark about their children receiving liability-free vaccines without their knowledge or consent. Fortunately, because Council Member Gray was not able to attend the meeting and answer this particular question, ladies and gentlemen, about his amendment, the vote on the bill was postponed. We have this week to make sure that D.C. Council knows that the bill is not acceptable to families. This was what was cooking up between October, November the 10th, all the way into November the 17th, and it went as far back as October the 20th. So they were cooking this up. They were cooking this sauce up in the pan in Washington, D.C., to prepare, and they had been working on this in 2019. Okay, so they were cooking this up a whole year in advance before we even knew this thing called the vaccine, the virus as we know it. They were already cooking this up. So the question is, if they did this, what did they know and not know? We already know that the CARES Act was put into law on 1/24/2019. Do your research. How did they put all this stuff together if they didn't, quote unquote, know what was coming down the pipeline on American citizens? It just makes you have to ponder that. You have to wonder. Okay. Now, the National Vaccine Information Center, the NVIC, first alerted our members to the bill when it was scheduled for a hearing originally on June. What did I say, ladies and gentlemen? Telling the truth.
Tell the truth.
On June of 2019, after no activity for over a year, the bill was just passed by a voice vote in a virtual meeting of the Health Committee on October 7th. And then it went into further process on October the 20th, as I said. Then we have November 10th, and then we have November the 20th, okay? After it was amended to make it even worse, in the outcome, in the video that in the video is on this particular page that I'm reading. I'm going to give you the name again so that you can look this up, do the research. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. The amendments are discussed at 8:44 mark, and the sponsors comments began at 9:48 time mark. Now, let me read something to you right here. This is what's in it. This is what the actions were needed for this particular bill. 1, contact members of the D.C. Council Committee of the Whole and ask them to vote no on B 230171. So people were furious about this. 2nd, read November 17th and see reason to oppose the committee's contact information below. Share this with all D.C. contractors, everyone. Be ready to contact all D.C. contacts, I meant to say. Be ready to contact your congressional representatives and to senators to support resolution to prevent this bill from becoming law. Now, this is the problem in Washington, D.C. If you're not, if you don't already know this already, you know Washington, D.C. is not a state. They have no representation, right? They are not a state. They are a District of Columbia. Washington, D.C., they're a district. They do not have statehood, and people in Washington, D.C. have been asking. They asked Obama. They did it with Bill Clinton. They've been wanting statehood in Washington, D.C. for God knows how long, and they have not gotten it. Because if they had statehood, they could keep the citizens would have more power to keep some checks and balances. So they do not have proper representation for their vote. They do not have it in Washington, D.C. That's been something that people have been complaining about over the years. And this is one reason why you see the White House on the screen. This is one of the reasons why they can get away with doing these sort of things, because they have disenfranchised people who live in the District of Columbia, the Washington, D.C., which is made up and has been over the years. And we know there's a lot of gentrification that's going on in D.C. with black people being moved out. In Oakland, California, where I lived at for 10 years, the black population has dipped down to 25%. They are gentrifying our black, out of the communities, overpricing us out. And our so-called black politicians up there in Washington, D.C., like the Congressional Do Nothing Caucus, you hardly ever hear them talking about proposing any bills about how to deal with the gentrification of black people out of D.C. Isn't that interesting?
Tell the truth.
We can't get them to stand up for us. So they actually did contact the congressional leadership in Washington, D.C., ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? The people in Washington, D.C. still didn't get any justice with this situation. You would think And like I said, they don't have any statehood in Washington, D.C., but the leadership that's there, and I'm sure a lot of these members of the Congressional Black Caucus got these arguments from people, had people telling them, don't let this happen. Now, this is the reason why this bill was opposed by the people, the B-230171 bill, permitting minors, children 11 years old and older, to consent to any vaccines recommended by the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, the ACIP, without parental knowledge or consent. That's in line 3336 of this particular proposal, that what people were against. Okay? A child is less likely than their parent to understand personal and family medical history, including vaccines, reactions to allergies, and things of that nature, neurological disorders. Kids do not have the same kind of critical thinking skills or emotional maturity required to make a vaccine benefit risk decision compared to adults. And check this out. For those of you who know psychology, you know your human brain doesn't fully develop until you're over 25 years old, maybe 26, 27 years old. Your brain does not fully develop, which is why when people are very young in their adolescence, their teenage years, in their early 20s, they make a lot of foolish decisions because you still don't have a fully developed brain. Now, you're asking kids in Washington, D.C., you're asking them to make a decision when they don't even have a fully developed brain that someone of mature adult age has developed. Now, make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell the truth.
Make that make sense. Vaccines can cause injury, death, as evident by the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, which has paid out, check this out, ladies and gentlemen, which has paid out $4.4 billion to vaccine victims. Let me read this again. This is truth.
Tell the truth.
Boy, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, I got to play the dramatic. I got to give you the dramatic drum line for this one because this is something else, ladies and gentlemen.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Let me read this part again. It really caught me off guard, to be honest with you. A child is less likely than their parent to understand personal, family, medical history. I read that part. Wait a minute. Kids do not have the same kind of critical thinking skills or emotional maturity required to make a vaccine benefit risk decision compared to adults. Okay? Vaccines can cause injury, death, as evident by the National Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, which has paid out over, and I'm going to say it again, which has paid out over $4.4 billion to vaccine victims. Now, ladies and gentlemen, they've been telling you that it's all safe. Nothing can happen to you. They put Dr. Fauci on air, have him take a shot. They make sure that they give you the optics of a black woman taking the shot with a black doctor. They give you the optics of all these health so-called experts sitting down talking about they got to do their part. Oh, they give you the optics. They give you the look. They give you the promotional brochure on television to convince you. I just read to you truth written in lightning, written in thunder.
A lot of reaction to.
I just told y'all truth here, written in thunder.
Information is power.
Wow. So it's $4.4 billion that they've had to pay out because of bad things that have happened when people have indulged in vaccines that have gone wrong for people. Now, children and adolescents are vulnerable to peers and authority figures, meaning authority figures convincing them to take something without their parents' permission, without the parents there to say yay or nay. This puts minor children at risk of being pressured and coerced into getting a vaccine behind their parents' back once it is available and added to the ACIP recommendation schedule for children. And the ACIP, if you want to know that acronym, what that means, it means the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices in this country we call America.
Tell the truth.
So I just wanted to go over that a little bit right here. People were up in arms about this. Let me show you a video right now of a mother who lives in Washington, D.C., who made a lot of noise about this. All right. They want to, let me just tell you, they want to, because we know we got this virus, right? We know that this virus is in our, they're telling us it's taking people out of here. Because we know we got this, they are targeting certain people, making sure that you comply. They do it in the continent of Africa with children. They go over there giving them things. And I've been asking this question every time I've gone live about this, ladies and gentlemen. And that question is, as they're now targeting children or have in Washington, D.C., in terms of giving them the right to consent without their parents' permission, I've been asking this question with this current vaccine that's out, and that is, what are the long-term effects of this new vaccine that's out? Even though people take it and they say, hey, I'm not falling out. Hey, I'm feeling good. Hey, I had a little bit of dizziness. You had the nurse just a week ago who took a shot, right? And let me take that off the screen because I'm going to get to that in just a moment. You had the nurse who took a shot, and she had an interview, and she started saying that she felt lightheaded, right?
Tell the truth.
And she damn near fell to the floor, and then you had the doctors come over, and she said, oh, I always have this problem. I always faint. I'm going to tell you right now, I think that was bull jive.
Tell the truth.
I think she might have actually had some effects. That's just my opinion, YouTube. She may have really had a effect, a risk of from taking that, a side effect. Let me say that. That's the proper word to use. She might have had a legitimate side effect, and because she's a part of the medical establishment and they want to make sure people feel safe and comfortable with this, well, she had to say, in my opinion, she had to make the company line, ladies and gentlemen. She had to say the company line, which is, oh, I always faint. Let me highlight this again before I put this short video of this sister talking about her son. Let me go over some highlighted points on my little my little highlight over here, as you can see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go over this. Once again, children as young as age 11 can be allowed to get recommended vaccinations despite their parents' disapproval, according to the new bill proposed in Washington, D.C. This all took place in November, between October and November, ladies and gentlemen. It's law now. The bill passed 12-1, but would need to be passed a second time and then receive the Mayor Bowser's signature in order to become law. And keep this in mind, this was back in the early stage when people were debating about this in D.C. Now, it would allow kids who are deemed, kids that are deemed capable of having informed consent to get government recommended, for example, you know how kids get the HPV vaccination. They've been pushing that about your kids getting that particular vaccination, and they can do this. They can do it without needing the parents' approval. They're doing it with this, the VPV, depending on where you live in the country. These are realities, folks, that we need to examine. And so when I said on my program, hey, you never know what's really going on. Let me tell you something that a lot of people may not be aware of as well. Let me look at something real quick. Something real quick I want to read to you all. This was, and I was on Raw B's channel, and she brought this up. Guess what? Mr. Joe Biden, guess what Joe Biden's staffers were doing, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to read this to you. This is another article. Joe Biden's Corona-19 task force members recommended withholding food stamps and rent assistance from those who refuse to take the vaccine. That's Joe Biden's task force. Members of his task force were recommending this way back when. Okay, I just wanted to bring that up to your attention if you weren't aware of that. Now, next thing I need to do is take something off the screen here so that we can get into this that I want to show you next. And all right. With that said, let's go into the next breaking news. This is a video. It's about 2 minutes and 28 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. And here is the breaking news coming.
Against that, I think it violates my fundamental right as a parent.
Asha Pinckney Gillis doesn't feel like her 14-year-old son Caleb is old enough or ready to call his own shots when it comes to getting a vaccine without her consent, even under a doctor's direction.
If my child goes and gets a vaccination and has an adverse impact to that adverse reaction to that vaccination, I don't know what's going on because I've never been told that my child has been inoculated.
When D.C. Councilmember Mary Cheh introduced the Minor Consent for Vaccinations Amendment Act of 2019 last year, it was in response to a measles outbreak that spread from coast to coast in the U.S., many wondering at the time if D.C. would become the next hotspot as vaccination rates trended downward in the district.
It should be worrisome to people when children are not vaccinated for these diseases.
According to this July 6th letter to D.C. school leaders, fewer families have paid visits to the doctor's office because of the pandemic, some lacking access, others avoiding it. Because of this, the letter says many children in the district are not fully immunized, which could make another infectious outbreak worse.
The gateway, again, is the physician who has to make this judgment. Is that person, 11, 12, 15, 18, capable of giving informed consent? And is it consistent with the physician's medical judgment?
If the bill is passed, children as young as 11 years old would be allowed to get a recommended vaccine without parental approval. Only a doctor would decide if the child meets a certain standard of informed consent. To protect their privacy, healthcare providers would have to bill insurers directly and submit the vaccination record to the child's school.
I think the intent is good. I think there are several kinks that need to be worked out before this is finalized.
And Councilmember Che tells me that a number of medical experts and medical organizations have looked at this in fine detail and they still support it. She says that a final vote by the D.C. Council will be made Tuesday, November 17th, and that is expected to have full support. So from there, it'll go on to Mayor Bowser's desk and then Congress, for Congress to get that chance to weigh in. This is all a part of their process, the congressional review. For now, that's the very latest on this. Makia Turner, back to
Tell the truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me put a couple of things on the board for you to see to the side of me to let you know that I'm not making this stuff up. You just saw the news report. D.C. Mayor Council approved bill. Do you understand me? This is in the Washington Post. You can, everything I'm showing you, you can look up for yourself. You can write down the sources and read it for yourself. D.C. Council approved bill allowing children to get vaccinated without parents' consent. This is in the Washington Post. Here's another article here for you. Controversial D.C. bill allows minors to consent to vaccines will become law. Did you hear me? Will become law.
Tell the truth.
Are y'all hearing me? This is crazy. Let me go over here to this article and read to you. There was no immediate statement from Mayor Bowser office explaining her decision to return the bill unsigned. The measure, which was first introduced, like I said, in early 2019. Now, she didn't go for it, but eventually they must have convinced her to go for it. And you heard the lady say in the news report that they had to bring it before Congress to add more approval to it. Reading on this article right here, next heads to the Congress for usual 30-day review unless the federal lawmakers mount a last-minute campaign against it, which is unlikely. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, which is unlikely. The bill is expected to take effect in early 2021. Do you hear me?
Is power.
Do you hear what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I got to take a little musical break here. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Information is power. The truth.
Unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, I have put before you a very important article, which you can look this up. This was in CBC, NC. It's an article, Health and Science, and it's titled, as you see here, "You cannot sue Pfizer or Moderna if you have severe," I'm going to say it again, "if you have severe COVID vaccine side effects. The government is likely will not compensate you for damages." So what they've done is the government has given these companies immunity until the year 2024. So because we're in because it's a pandemic, and they're pushing they're incentivizing the companies to push forth a vaccine. They did not want to discourage them from producing a vaccine with the fear that they would be sued if something went wrong. So they have complete immunity. If you end up taking this, and let's say you feel good when you take it, you're not having any problems this week, that week, or next week. Let's say you start having some problems a year from now, 2 years from now, within that 2024 window, you can't sue them. You can't take them to court. You can't hold any of these companies, Moderna or Pfizer, accountable because the government is already giving them a clean bill of health where you can't give them any pushback if something goes wrong. All right, I just want people to understand that if something goes wrong, you will not be able to give them any pushback on this vaccine. So look that up, check that out, ladies and gentlemen. You can't sue Pfizer or Moderna if you have severe COVID vaccine side effects. The government likely will not compensate you. This is a fact. You can't sue them. You don't have any ability to sue them. You can't sue CDC. You can't sue the federal government. You can't sue any of these companies. You can't. If something happens, it'll be tough luck for you and your family. Come back in 2024. I wonder what the statute of limitations will be. I wonder why they picked 2024 because is it because maybe they won't be, maybe the statute of limitations will be poof, gone, and you can't hold anybody accountable? It's just a thought, ladies and gentlemen, just a thought.
Tell the truth.
They told Miss Bowser, the mayor of, let me take that off of there real quick. They told the mayor of Washington, D.C. not to do this. She decided to not sign it, but she never, from what I understand, she never came out and said she was adamant against it. She wouldn't support it whatsoever. It was more like she was waiting for them to make some adjustments in it. And according to the documents that I've read tonight, that is data that you can look up for yourself, they're saying that this is as good as going to be good, passed, and it'll be enacted in the year 2021. And this vaccine situation with COVID is not going away anytime soon. We're getting ready to go into 2021 in about another week from now, ladies and gentlemen. So let me go back into the chat room because I think I got a super chat from Brother Gregory X. He says the COVID-19 is the devil's great vaccine. Let me see what he's saying here. A obvious and backed attempt at population control using the vaccine to mask a sterilization program similar to the Kenyan program. Yeah, I think Pfizer went over to Africa, and I think there's a sister who wrote the book Medical Apartheid. Check out Medical Apartheid. I think her name is Harriet Washington. And there was a situation in, I think it was either Kenya, where they brought Pfizer brought some kind of vaccine over for something, and it ended up doing seriously damage to the children. Matter of fact, a lot of them died. And of course, they couldn't sue them. So this is crazy stuff. So Brother Gregory X, thank you for the super chat, brother. But now I got to give you the super chat music. We got to get into it. We got to make it. We got to turn it up a little bit here, and get it going, brother. So let me do this. Let me get the music going for you. I appreciate you coming over, brother. Super chat.
Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell them run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell them run it up. 9 out of 10, roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, flex, thumb down, that check, no drip this.
All right. Thank you, Brother Gregory X, for coming through with the super chat, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you a hell of a lot for that. I appreciate that, brother. That super chat is excellent. Thank you for supporting the channel. You've been supporting me for quite some time, brother. Thank you for coming over. Make sure everybody in the chat room, that you share this video, as this is very important. Definitely share this video. Let me say something else too. Remember Joe Biden? I did that thing about Joe. I did the video about Joe Biden about a week ago. A lot of folks were over here checking out the video. And now it's come to my attention, keep my ears to the YouTube streets and keep my ears to what's happening in the media, that in the beginning of that speech, when he told black people that you're going to have to work with the Latinos and Hispanics because they've got the population and you don't, and the way he talked to us so nasty and cheesy, it's come to my attention that the way he started off that speech is that he said, America is doomed. He said, America is doomed because white people will become a minority in the future as Latinos grow in their population. And then he had the audacity to say that we as black people, they're gonna be bigger than us. He said bigger than y'all. So y'all gonna have to work with them. But check out the white supremacy within within the statement that he said, because he said America is doomed because the white population will be going down as other populations are going up. In this case, particularly the Latino population. So you got to ask yourself, why would Joe Biden say the word doom? The word doom is something negative. It represents something coming to an end, something intimately going to be destroyed. So his little, Jim Crow Joe, once again, is showing just what his true colors are, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry. I know black people voted for him. I know people wanted Donald Trump out of office. Hell, I didn't like Donald Trump either. But see, I didn't like Donald Trump before he became president because I couldn't stand what he did in the Central Park 5 situation, which a lot of black folks who rock with Donald Trump seem to want to forget how racist and devastating that was, Trump's involvement in trying to condemn those young men. But we got Jim Crow Joe, who's also doing the same thing. Remember, he told us that if we don't vote for him, we ain't black enough. He told us that, unlike African Americans, Hispanics have a diversity in our thinking and in their thinking, and they have very different views. And he sort of marginalized black people, not once but twice and 3 times a lady. Not to mention the fact in 1971 he was concerned that his kids were being integrated into a racial jungle. And I know there's black folks out there that are going to say, why you got to bring up the past? Because the past is a great predictor for what a person will do in their future. You can't forget their past because the past is rooted in our oppression. Have you forgotten your uncles and your fathers who went to jail under his policies? Come on now. And now you see in today's time, they're pushing policies that are going to definitely impact black children in Washington, D.C., who make up the largest number of kids in terms of ethnic group. They will be the ones that will be front line and center to be pressured in some way or to be given the right to make consent without their parents having the right to say, well, no way. Wait a minute. I'm stepping in. I'm putting a hand up. I'm going to put a stop to this because I don't agree with it. And let me show you something. See, this little thing here that we're going through right now that's causing a lot of issues as we continue to be the subliminal or be the direct, there's a direct focus on us, a direct target on us. And some of us are saying, I don't want it. And as I said in other previous videos, you can use black doctors as an optive to make us feel comfortable, relaxed, that it's okay because a black man will, or a black woman will administer the shot to you, or that a black woman was involved in the process of creating the vaccine. So we can be spooked by or be encouraged. We can be spooked or encouraged by the visual effects of telling us that it's okay, black people. See, you got other black people taking it. They're okay. No one's falling out on the floor, even though we did have a white nurse who fell out on the floor just a week ago. But they're telling us, well, it's just something that happens to her because she's got a squeamish personality. And then we have our main man here, you know, the man who said that we're his soul sisters and brothers. To my African American brothers and sisters, it's okay. And so we had to listen to him push the narrative to us as well. That's Dr. Fauci. As we walk around in society being told, you know, we got to wear that mask, and we have to deal with a lifestyle in which you go out on a date with a young lady and you got to have that mask on, you know? And at the same time, as I did on my other video not too long ago, you got people going broke out here. They're coming up with a $9 billion package. Why not more money instead of chump change? Instead of $600, we need more money than $600, ladies and gentlemen. People need more money than that. People are struggling. People are standing in line in food kitchens getting food to feed themselves. And by the way, let me throw a plug in here. I told you all that I'm doing a video. It's coming about how you need to focus on boosting your immune system. But check this out, elderberry. Get yourself some elderberry. Elderberry is very good for you. Nice fruits and vegetables to boost your immune system, because a lot of people that are suffering is because, let's be honest, Americans have very weak immune systems, ladies and gentlemen. And we got to do things to boost the immune system as another way to help ourselves. That's all I'm saying. Just eating better and taking care of yourself, getting the vitamin D, the calcium, the magnesium, all that good stuff into your body, drinking your mineral water, getting it on that plasmid level with the minerals in it. And if you can't drink mineral water, then get your calcium, your zinc, your magnesium, and take those supplements in conjunction with in the vitamin D in conjunction with the water to at least build your immune system up. What I like to do right now as I get to a conclusion is show you the final video where they actually took the vote on this bill. And what I'm going to do is put this up here, and then I want to go back to the name of that bill so that you can get it 100% in your head, 100% in your mind. The name of that bill, B230171, if you want to look this up yourself. Now, what you are about to witness and see, ladies and gentlemen, is the actual committee meeting where they took the vote on 11/10/2020. 11/10/2020, where I think it was 12-1 because one person did not show up. So you had a judge there. You had people that are part of the council in Washington, D.C. And mind you, you had black and you had white people voting on this. And I'm saying to myself, what is in the minds of these people to think that this is the right thing to do, to take a parental right away from parents, to give kids 11 years old and older the right to make this decision when they are not even fully developed in their brain development, and they're not adults. They're minors. So listen to this and give your opinion in the chat room as you're hearing them right now. With that said, here is the next breaking news.
Information is power.
Councilmember Robert White.
Yes.
Councilmember Robert White votes yes. Councilmember Treyon White.
Yes.
Councilmember Treyon White votes yes. Councilmember Allen.
Yes.
Councilmember Allen votes yes. Councilmember Bonds.
Yes.
Councilmember Bonds votes yes. Councilmember Che.
Yes.
Councilmember Che votes yes. Councilmember Gray. Councilmember Gray is absent. Councilmember Grosso.
Yes.
Councilmember Grosso votes yes. Councilmember McDuffie.
Yes.
Councilmember McDuffie votes yes. Chairman Mendelson.
Yes.
Chairman Mendelson votes yes. Councilmember Nadeau.
Yes.
Councilmember Nadeau votes yes. Councilmember Pinto.
Yes.
Councilmember Pinto votes yes. Councilmember Silverman.
Yes.
Councilmember Silverman votes yes. And Councilmember Todd.
Yes.
Councilmember Todd votes yes. Mr. Chairman, there are 12 yeses and 1 absent.
The declaration is approved unanimously. The underlying bill, Bill 23-991, Councilmember Allen.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there discussion? We'll do this by voice vote. I see everybody present except for Mr. Gray. You agree, Madam Secretary?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
All those in favor of the bill say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Secretary, I don't see anyone or hear anyone voting no. Do you agree?
Agreed.
The bill is approved unanimously.
Information.
The next item
power.
is Child Enrollment Preference Emergency Declaration Resolution of 2020.
Information is power.
Take it away, feeling too good to me. Chilling all day, all in your space is where I wanna be. Here in this room, what did you do? I just can't get enough. Too caught up in your love. I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like home. Yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason I'm going out.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who wants to call in, I'm going to take a few calls for a short moment because I want to see if anyone wants to express their opinion about what they did in Washington, D.C. Because what they did there could set a precedence for what could happen across the country if other councils or other mayors or local governments want to do this. And one reason, like I said before, one reason why they're able to do what they did too is because they don't have statehood in Washington, D.C. It's not considered a state, and the people there, in my opinion, are disenfranchised. They're not getting any representation for their presence, for their citizenship in the greater Maryland, D.C. area. And that's got to change. And it's funny how none of these politicians, there's some that have talked about it, but they haven't made it a reality. Even Bill Clinton didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. Hell, I don't even think Biden's going to do it because they just want to keep people in check in D.C. So there's the number right there, 605-313-5658, access code 571128. If you want to call in, call Information Man and give a few of your words. Now, I'm going to let you know, those of you who do call in, don't say anything reckless because my video got taken down a week ago. You can't say anything that you can't verify and based in facts. I don't want to hear Alex Jones conspiracy theories. I want facts. Must be able to cite your sources, and it must be legitimate sources. So come on and call on in and give me your opinion. All right, I got the phone lines open. Let me go into the chat room and see if what folks are saying in the chat room. I really appreciate those of you who are still here with me. I know that a lot of people are relaxing, sleeping, being with their family. I would normally have more people, but it's okay because people will watch this in the repeat. We've got, let me see, we got my man, Brother Duvian, who's in the house under the name Muhammad. He says peace and power. We got Dope Action 614 in the house. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to put my second channel in the chat room. Make sure you get a chance to subscribe to my second channel too. I put 2 links in there. That will go to my second channel, my podcasting channel. Make sure you check that out as well. Keep this in mind, folks, that information is power. You know, you always hear me say that.
Information.
Ooh, there we go.
Information is power.
That's right. I hit the wrong button there. So information is power. As you know, I always say that. Let's see if we have anybody on the line before I end this tonight. No one's on the line. Let me ask the question. What was your thoughts about what the people, the council members, all saying yes, 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 yes? What is your thoughts about this whole thing? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's a violation of our rights as citizens? Do you think that children this age obviously either can't or can consent when it comes to taking a vaccine? What do you say in the chat room and those who want to call in? Let me see here. We got my man, The Life of King Wage, in the house. We got Brittany Dunn in the house. Peace to you. Let me see. We've got our children are not their lab rats. That's yeah, our children are not the lab rats. You're exactly right. We've got Watch in the house. Only 16% of this latest bill is actually relief. Checks and unemployment benefits. The rest of the $900 billion is bullshit. Just like the CARES Act, only 4% of that was actually relief. You're absolutely right, Watch. Thank you for coming over and dropping that knowledge on us. Okay? And we got my man, Topping Jr., who says veganism is the future. You're absolutely right. I know that Pharaoh says that, talks about that on his channel a lot, brother. I see you over there all the time. You're absolutely right. Okay. So I'm probably going to shut the phone lines down if nobody's calling in. But I'm looking at your statement. Let's see. Brother Topping Jr. says, then have the nerve to tell us we can't sue them and they don't give an F if we develop any health issues after letting them shoot or give us the shot, the poison in us, basically saying F you and the tough luck. Yeah, I just think I'm going to make it final here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, nobody should be doing anything to your child without your consent. No, I don't think any medical procedure should be placed upon your child, because this is the thing. If you're, check this out, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very easy example. if your child goes out and vandalizes someone's house, breaks in someone's house, breaks a car, steals something, everybody in the chat room, who's responsible? Is it the child, or will it be the parent that will be held responsible in the end? What is your thoughts? Put a one if you say, put a yes if you think it'll be the parent or the child. Yeah, the child's responsible, but it will be falling on the parent. So if your child does something bad, then they want to come running to you saying, hey, parent, hey, father, hey, mother, your child was doing A, B, and C. We got to hold you accountable. You got to pay for this. But they can hold you as a parent accountable for your child's poor behavior. But at the same time, they want to give your child the right to be able to consent to this vaccine in Washington, D.C., without your ability as a parent, if you live in Washington, D.C., to say, no, that's a child, that's a minor, I'm the adult, I'm making a decision for my child. It's just crazy.
Tell the truth.
Brother Gregory X says yes. Let me mod you up, brother. There you go. You've been rocking with me. Good to see you, brother. Come back around more often too, brother Gregory X, because you always bring it too. You put in good information in the chat room all the time. Let me see. Does says CNN June 30th, 2020 Supreme Court. Interesting. Interesting. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end the program. I don't think anyone's calling in. Yeah, nobody's calling in tonight. I think people are all relaxing with their family, which they should. I'm not hating on that at all. People should be with their family members, relaxing, chilling, and enjoying their time with their family. Most definitely, that's what people need to be doing. Everybody have a good rest of your evening. I'm not a big Christmas guy. I'll just say happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever works for you. Be safe with your family. I think the most important thing around these holidays, whether you call it, with Christmas and all this stuff, is that you enjoy your time with your family. Be safe. We still got this thing running around here. And be safe whatever you do in your goings and comings. We're getting ready to go into a new year. This has been a horrible year. I'm going to do a New Year's show next week. So I hope you come and join me on my New Year's show next week. And I'm going to be going live on Sunday. I have a young lady who is a content creator on YouTube, and she's one of those content creators that gives you great tips on how to get your YouTube channel going and how to maximize all the different streaming platforms and things to really spruce your content up and improve what you're doing. I'm looking forward to talking to this young lady. She's very positive. She has a channel that she's trying to grow, so I definitely want people to check her out when I bring her on Sunday afternoon. So thank you for being here and joining me. And this is Information Man Show. I'm going to get on out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the second channel if you have not. Make sure you do that. I'm trying to grow that channel organically. And make sure that you be careful with your family. Let me do this because I said I was going to put some links to my resource in the chat room, which I am. This is the article that I was reading from that you can check out. I'm going to put that in the chat room about 2 times. Once, a second time. And the next thing I'm going to put in there is the video that I played of them voting on this, because if you want to watch the whole video to get extra, I just took the highlights from it to make a point tonight that they just went off and voted for this whole thing. In this link that I'm going to give you, it not only has the video of them voting on this, but it has the actual document that was, let me see here. It says the 38th legislating meeting, virtual meeting, Tuesday, November 10th, 2020, 1 p.m. And this is the transcript from their meeting. If you want to check that out, I'm going to put that in the chat room as well for you to check that out. I believe in showing my sources here. I'll put that in 2 times and you can check that out. And you all know this is crazy. This is crazy. brothers and sisters out there listening to me. I just had to talk about this because it really bothered me when I heard Tariq talking a little bit about this on his channel, but I wanted to go a little bit deeper into it and really do some research. And this is what they were doing back in October and November. They originally was putting this bill together in 2019. They had a couple of committee meetings where they voted, and looks like, from what I understand, it is the law. It looks like it is going to be enacted in 2021, as I had just read to you in the recorded documents and articles that I was able to dig up. Let me put this on the screen one more time. I want to drive home one more point before I leave tonight. And I want to put, let me see, what was it that I want to put up here? I want to put, nope, not that. Let me see, what was it? Something I want to drive home. And I think it was this article right here. And let me see if that article will come up. Nope, nope, no. Where is the one that I wanted to really show you? Give me one moment here. And this is not the one here. Let me see. Nope. Is this the one right here? Nope. Now check this out. The article, check this out in Africa. Let me read this to you all. The claim, African content, it's a continent. The African continent has only seen 46,000 novel coronavirus deaths as the country worldwide grips with another wave of coronavirus. One continent, appears to be managing well above all others. The entire continent of Africa has only seen 46,000 deaths from COVID-19. The Daily Show host and comedian Trevor Noah stated it in a November 14th Instagram post. So this is what's going on in Africa. They're not in the numbers might be a little bit higher now because this is from like a week ago. It could be the same. It could be a little bit higher. But this was an article that came out in the news, and they're trying to figure out why is this the case. And here's the article I want to drive this home again. Once again, you cannot sue Pfizer or Moderna if you have severe side effects from this vaccine. The government is likely will not compensate you for the damages because these companies have been given qualified immunity from any lawsuits. And I believe, as I said before earlier in the program, it will only protect, they are protected for some years now. You won't be able to hold them accountable for anything that happens to you into maybe the year 2024. But even then, there's no guarantee because I don't know what the statute of limitations are when it comes to wanting to sue someone over a vaccine that gave you that you didn't your body didn't react to very well. So that's something to think about. Everybody take care. Try it, buy it, and make it and sell it. Take care. According to my understanding, we can't sue for any other vaccines that injure either. Interesting. Let me see. Watch the replay. Yeah, I'm going to end this. What I suggest everybody to do, if you're coming in here a little bit late, watch the replay of this video. If not tonight, tomorrow when you have a chance. I want everybody to share this in all your social media. That means Instagram, if you can, Twitter, Facebook, any social media that you use where you can post videos. Please share this video. This is very important. This is not about me. It's bigger. People need to get this information. Share it in your community tab as well. If you are a content creator and you have people who follow your channel, go ahead and recommend my video to people that follow you. Go ahead and share the link to my video. Just make sure people look at this video so that they can do further research, because I basically gave you some of the, the breadcrumbs here with some of the articles that I put up, that you can go and do your own research and dig into this further. It is very serious what they did in Washington, D.C., because it is something that I fear that they can take away your right as a parent to speak and do your due diligence as a parent and make decisions for a child who is a minor. And now they want to put it in the hands of the schools or the medical establishment to be able to say to your child, hey, we're going to give you this. Do you consent to it? And your child doesn't have the emotional fortitude. Your child doesn't have the experience to understand the decision that they're making and the risk involved of their decision. They don't have that. They don't have that knowledge. With that said, I'm getting ready to get out of here. I appreciate everybody for being here. This is the Information Man. Peace to you all. Have a great holiday with your family and take care of yourself. Let me end this call because nobody called in. So let me end that. Let me stop that right there. And peace to you, everybody.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Peace.
Such a pretty girl. Left town, got a chance in LA. Now you a city girl. Now you wanna party, it's late. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You said that I won. You had me love struck. That city life will make you go. No place like home. No place like home. No place like home. 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 No place like home. Had a lover boy. Now you're on the other side of the tracks with another boy. Chasing that greener grass. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You stay over, never over. One more drinking till you're sober. You said that I won. You had me love struck. That city life will make you go. No place like home. No place like home. No place like home. Home. No place like home. Make the night go slower. It's lonely in October. Closer, closer, closer. Lightning in a bottle. Lightning in a bottle, baby.
is power.
Take me in your arms, do just what you want. You're the one I trust. I belong to you. And I'll always be around when I need some loving, baby. And I'll never let you down. Let you down, let you down. I'm your song and you're playing all my melodies. There's no one else, 'cause baby we got chemistry. You give me feelings that I never knew. This heart of mine will always and forever belong to you. You and me were meant to be as one. The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts. Maybe it was written in the stars. Written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah, yeah. You, me. Take me to your heart. Take me to your soul. Never drawn apart. 'Cause I belong to you. Be my guiding star. 'Cause I need your loving, baby. And never let me down. Let me down, let me down. I'm your song and you're playing all my melodies. There's no one else, 'cause baby we got chemistry. You gave me feelings that I never knew. This heart of mine will always and forever belong to you. You and me were meant to be as one. The universe has known it all along. Maybe this is where our story starts. Maybe it was written in the stars. Written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah, yeah. You, me, written in the stars. You, me, forever, yeah, yeah. You, me, written in the stars.
Information is power.
Good night, everybody.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.